Hey there, I'm Joe Carter. If you've ever popped the hood and thought, where do I even start? You're in good company. Around here, we take the mystery out of car repair, one fix at a time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're into learning without the headaches. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into it.
An elastic connection in the design of the exhaust system is necessary to dampen vibrations that arise when the engine is running and the car is moving. If the corrugated element is not provided structurally, vibrations negatively affect the flange connections of the elements of the exhaust tract, lead to cracks in the exhaust manifold, intake pipe. Replacement of the muffler corrugation is necessary when it is destroyed, as indicated by the characteristic sound of bursting exhaust gases. Let's talk not only about how to change the corrugation with your own hands, but also how to choose the right flexible connection. By diameter, length and braid design. Choosing the size of the muffler corrugation. For replacement, only two parameters are required, the bore diameter and the corrugation length. The inner diameter of the hole must match the outer diameter of the intake pipe. If the corrugation is replaced correctly, it is put on the pipe from both sides and welded. Often when replacing, the old corrugation is cut off behind the weld, reducing the length of the intake pipe parts. To keep the total length of the pipe, the new corrugation is but welded together. By choosing a slightly longer corrugation, the new corrugation will not have to be welded to the old weld when it is replaced again. Below are the basic sizes of muffler corrugations, where the first number is the inner diameter of the seating hole and the second number is the length. 40 times 10040 times 15040 times 20040 times 23040 times 26040 times 28045 times 10045 times 15045 times 20045 times 23045 times 26045 times 28045 times 32050 times 10050 times 1205 0 times 15050 times 20050 times 23050 times 25050 times 28050 times 32055 times 10055 times 15055 times 20055 times 23055 times 25055 times 28055 times 32060 times 100 xmlph 60 times 25060 times 28064 times 10064 times 15064 times 20064 times 23064 times 25064 times 280. Choosing a corrugator manufacturer. The predominant majority of corrugators on the market can be categorized into three types of construction. 3-layer with a corrugated tube base. The upper braid is the usual stainless steel wire weave, but the inner layer is a flexible metal sleeve. The metal sleeve reduces the temperature of the corrugated tube and protects it from direct contact with exhaust gases. Such muffler corrugations are really long-lasting, but for their compression and stretching a considerable load is required. Due to the tight compensation, vibrations from the engine are more intensively transmitted to the rubber dampers of the exhaust system and the car body. Adherents of this type of construction are the company's Interlock, Bosal. 3-layer with a base in the form of a corrugated tube, but without a metal sleeve inside. Instead, the tube is protected by a braid of stainless wire. Such muffler corrugations are more elastic, but have a slightly lower resource. Among the well-known manufacturers, we can distinguish the firm, inner braid. 3-layered with an outer mesh of a characteristic weave. The basis is a corrugated tube, which from the inside is protected by a metal sleeve. Filled the market with corrugations of this type firm, Hydra. The manufacturer justifies the high price with corrosion-resistant and high-temperature resistant stainless steel grade AISI 304 and good elasticity. How to replace the muffler corrugation with your own hands before removing the intake pipe, pads, clean the bolts, nuts from dirt, and wet them with a penetrating wrench. Due to constant temperature changes, the threaded connections of the car exhaust system are sticking harder than usual. To avoid burns, allow the engine to cool before starting the replacement. Remove any attachments obstructing access to the intake pipe to exhaust manifold mounting bolts. Disconnect the lambda probe connector or unscrew it before removing the pant from the car. Unscrew the flange connections of the exhaust pipe. How to replace the corrugation. With a marker or chalk, make 2 coaxial marks on the pant near the fit of the old corrugation. 2 more parallel marks are needed to check the overall length after the new corrugation is installed. On parts with simple shapes, this is sufficient to ensure that after replacement all exhaust system components are in place without tension and deviations. Cut off the old muffler corrugation. The cut should be as even as possible. Grind the intake pipe in the place of the future weld seam with a bulgar. It will not be unreasonable to clean a small section for connecting the mass of the welding machine. Align the new corrugation, keeping the alignment and the distance between the parallel marks. Make a few tack welds and then weld the joint in a circular pattern. The weld seam must be of high quality in order to avoid exhaust gas breakthrough. The metal is thick-walled, so you can safely weld with both a welding inverter and a semi-automatic. Tricks of replacement. Most of all difficulties arise with the installation of a new corrugation in the pants of a complex shape. We recommend making a fixing frame, so as not to disturb the mutual arrangement of the parts of the intake pipe after cutting out the old elastic connection. It is necessary to weld the frame before removing the old corrugation. The affixer demonstrated in the video can be made from rebar, angles, pipes or profiles. Only the rigidity of the structure is important. Hot dross flying sideways during welding can easily damage the outer braid of wire. We recommend wrapping the new part with a cloth soaked in water before welding. Apply high-temperature exhaust sealant if you are unsure of the quality of the weld. Beforehand, clean the weld with a metal brush and try to remove any slag from the pockets left by the electrode welding. Degrease the surface with acrylic solvent and abundantly smear the weld seam sealant. The composition needs about 30 minutes to cure, after which the exhaust system is ready for assembly. Is it possible to change the muffler corrugation without removing the pant from the car? Replacing the muffler corrugation without removing the intake pipe from the car is possible only if there is enough space near the elastic connection to work with a bulgar and a welding inverter. Due to limited access, you will most likely not be able to clean the edges of the pipe qualitatively if you cut off the old corrugation exactly along the weld seam. In such a case, it is recommended to choose a longer corrugation and cut the old one with a small margin. The video shows how to quickly replace the corrugation without removing the pants from the car. Before welding, remove the minus terminal of the battery. One of the causes of high fuel consumption. The main symptoms of a burnt-out muffler corrugator, siphoning sound from under the bottom of the car when the engine speed rises, exhaust odor in the passenger compartment when parking and driving at low speed. If the oxygen sensor is installed after the corrugation, the first sign of leakage failure will be increased fuel consumption. The reason is the added air that will enter the exhaust tract through the leak. Lambda probe detects the increase in oxygen concentration, forcing the engine ECU to increase the portion of fuel supplied. When replacing, be sure to pay attention to the nature of the damage. The muffler corrugation may have collapsed due to incorrect mounting of the exhaust system and too short a distance to the ground. The flow capacity of the catalytic converter mounted behind the corrugation affects the temperature of the exhaust path. In the exhaust system to a clogged catalytic converter, the temperature rises and gas pressure increases. Reducing the life of the muffler corrugation in such a case is quite predictable. Related articles, discussion. Igor Voropy, not so long ago also me the corrugation on the muffler on his car. To be honest, I am not a pro and not a car mechanic, but to replace the corrugation did not leave me labor. I came to my friend in a specialized garage and we with him without difficulty removed the old corrugation and then put a new one. Welded also without problems. In general, it is quite simple to get, the only thing is not convenient to get under sometimes, and so everything is normal. the author of a huge respect that affects such sensitive topics.